Senior Local Government Affairs Representative with Pacific Gas and Electric Company. Joining Claudia today will be Elizabeth Arboleda, Customer Relations Manager for PG&E. They will be providing an update on planned, unplanned outages and small business resources. Please welcome Claudia and Elizabeth.
Hi, good morning. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. We are not Zoom users, so I feel like I have to relearn Zoom every time I use it. It's a pleasure being here this morning. I'm gonna go and get started with sharing our presentation. Let's see. Give me 1 second while I figure this out. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Yes.
Yeah, we can see
Yes.
it, Claudia.
Perfect.
Yes, we can see it.
All right. So there's a seasonality to the information that I'm going to run through. We are doing our best to prevent wildfire, and these two programs that we have are mitigation methods to do just that. In looking at Livermore's map, there's not a lot of high fire threat areas. There's a level 2 area. There's 2 level 2 areas, but it's, you know, you might or might not be affected by some of these outages. I'm going to run through the information, and then I'm going to turn it over to Elizabeth to run through customer small business resources. So let's get it going. So this is service territory wide. PG&E is using AI technology, new technology. We're installing over 2,000 weather stations and high definition cameras with AI to better predict, better monitor weather modeling to see how it'll be impacting our communities. As I said, these are 2 programs: enhanced power line safety settings and public safety power shutoff. They're 2 programs to prevent wildfire risk. They are, depending on the area where you live, they might be very cumbersome, very prominent, but you know, they are methods of preventing catastrophes. And overall, we're doing our best to strengthen our assets. And we have a lofty goal of undergrounding 10,000 miles in these wildfire areas. We're also continuing with the prominence of vegetation management throughout our service territory. But again, this is service territory wide. Get into it. So a lot of folks confuse enhanced power line safety settings with PSPS, power safety power shutoff, and I don't blame them because the acronym sounds so similar. But in essence, how it works is that enhanced power line safety settings is essentially that, a setting on our circuit. It turns off power within 1/10 of a second of something impacting the line. So something physically hit the line, and to prevent the spark, the power is turned off automatically. This has helped with a 72% reduction in ignitions throughout our service territory. And we've found it very beneficial to continue with this. When we started this in 2019, it was, you know, very prevalent. We've gotten better at isolating these circuits. We've installed interrupters to better better isolate and have the impact be a lot smaller. So this is a good visual of what EPSS looks like. So there's a setting, and then something, as you'll see, the branch hits the line, it's turned off automatically. Our crews have to physically patrol the line before we restore power. And then there's an analysis that happens after every PSPS event. Or sorry, every time after an EPSS event to tweak our settings, to perfect our presence. If there's an opportunity to better isolate that specific circuit, we also tend to that. And then this is what customers can expect. So you do need to opt out to the notifications through your PG&E account. You'll get an estimated time of restoration through text or email, depending on your settings. Once we assess the repair, we'll provide timing updates, and then you'll get a restoration notification. Our goal with these EPSS outages is to turn power back on within 3 hours of turning it off. So it's not an all-day event. It's not days of the event. It's just an event that has no notification prior to it happening because it's automatic. In contrast, public safety power shutoffs, they are planned events. And they're an absolute last resort. And all of these conditions have to be true for us to call a PSPS event. So low humidity, high winds, a red flag warning, overall dry conditions, and on the ground real-time observations. So again, we'll reach out to customers through automatic calls, text, emails. Ideally, you would get a notification 48 hours before the event begins, and then we'll progressively update you. But for PSPS events, we will not lift the, we will not re-energize until the red flag warning has subsided. Sometimes they're 2-3 days at a time. Then this slide is pretty much a summary of what I just ran through, the differences between EPSS and PSPS, and why. Any questions thus far? No questions. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over to Elizabeth to get into the meat of the presentation, small business resources.
Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Like Claudia mentioned, my name is Elizabeth, and I work in the small business engagement department. And essentially, the role that we perform at my department is to assist all small and medium customers across the service territory with anything basically PG&E related. We can be first point of contact for customers. Of course, we are unable to resolve everything, and we don't have the capability of knowing everything, but we can, something that we can work with. We will be able to connect the customer to the right department or the right person. But essentially, the bigger part of our role is to assist customers with their energy efficiency, reducing their billing questions, rate changes. And this slide is just an overview of the different programs that we have available for our customers. Our direct install program is, and I don't want to go all over everything because then we will be here a very long time, but if anyone has any questions, we'll be able to go over them in more detail. But direct install programs are programs that we work with different contractors that have been trained by PG&E. And if a customer has a necessity, for instance, of replacing lighting, HVAC, whatever it is that they want to do in terms of becoming more energy efficient, we can put them in contact with trade professionals that have been trained by PG&E to complete the work, be able to work on our rebate programs, and also on our energy efficiency financing program, which in short is just a loan program that we offer customers at 0% interest. As we know that most customers don't have the financial means many times to complete bigger changes at their businesses, replacing lights, replacing their HVAC systems, installing new refrigeration or new any of the systems, whatever it is that, depending on the nature of your business, customers utilize. And so our energy efficiency financing loan program is a 0% loan that can help customers pay for these upgrades. In addition to that, we have our economic development rate, which is a rate that was put in place just to make sure that customers that were trying to leave California because of the costs of doing businesses in the state are pretty high. This is a rate that we put in place to try and convince customers to stay, and we will provide customers with a discounted rate of 18 to 20%, depending on what is the range, right? Claudia, can you move on to the next slide? Okay. Again, this is part of the different programs that we have. Our small business resiliency resources kind of ties on to Claudia's presentation on plan outages and PSPS and EPSS. These are rebates that we have available for generator and batteries, and backup power and self-generation incentives as well. And next. And rate options. So about once or twice a year, my department conducts an outreach campaign in which we contact customers that can possibly benefit from a rate change. So essentially what happens is that when a customer opens their PG&E account, they're placed on a rate, but we don't know exactly how their business are going to operate, and until we've at least had 12 months of their usage. And many times, because of how they use their power and their business hours, customers might be able to benefit from being on a different rate. So what we do is that we run some rate analysis, and we analyze the past 12 months of customers' usage and anticipate that if the next 12 months of your usage are going to remain very similar to what they were the past 12 months, some customers can potentially benefit from a rate change. So just a little example, let's say a customer is placed on a B1 rate, but our system analyzes and tells us that if they were to change to a B10 rate, they can save $12,000, $15,000 in a period of 12 months, right? This is not always the case for everybody, but there are customers that are able to take advantage of this. And we also recommend that customers, through their online account, do this on a yearly basis, because again, their nature, their operations, business hours, many things can change, and there might be a better, a more optimal rate for them. And this is actually, like I said, this is something that customers can do through their online account. We can also assist them with doing so, but we always encourage customers to self-serve, and learn that this is a possibility that they can look into through their online account. And next. And this ties back to our energy efficiency financing program, which is the loan program that I had mentioned earlier. This is a loan program that is, again, 0% interest. in which we provide customers a loan with a minimum of $5,000 and up to $250,000. The loan has to have a payback of 10 years. And the way the loan program works is that, for instance, let's say a customer wants to replace their lighting. And prior to replacing their lighting, their PG&E bill is $1,000, right? So they went, go ahead and did the work, replaced their lighting. Now, obviously, their usage is going to be lower, and therefore their PG&E costs are also going to go down. Let's say they went down to $800, right? The $200 is what we're going to use to pay for the loan. So customers, we will maintain paying essentially an average of what they've always paid, but the savings or the energy savings is what we're going to be using to pay towards the loan. This has to have a payback of 120 months. Next. Again, this is information on the loan. 0% interest, minimum loan amount of $5,000 and up to $250,000 with a payback of 120 months. Next. And this, again, different programs that we have available for customers this year. Since last year, we've been working on this pilot program called the Multi-Housing and Small Business EV Charger Program, which is a pilot program that we are running with different customers, and they might be able to benefit to have some EV chargers installed at no cost at the business. This is more tailored to customers that are in hard-to-reach areas, and not everybody will qualify for the no-cost program, but we might be able to also work with somebody that doesn't qualify at a discounted rate with the installation of EV chargers. And next. Budget billing, again, another program we have available for business customers. Essentially, the way this program works is that and not so much in our area, because I live in Dublin, so weather is very similar to what it is in Livermore. But areas like, let's say, Fresno, most customers get really, really high bills during the summer times because they constantly use their AC. And so what our budget billing does is that it helps them predict their bills. And so how we work on this is that we average their 12 months of their usage and determine a monthly payment for them. Every few months, we kind of review this to make sure that customers are paying what makes sense based on their monthly usage. And it's a way for customers to know that they're going to be, for instance, very constantly paying $300-400 on a monthly basis, rather than that $1,000-1,500 a month during the summer and very low bills during the winter time. Next. And this is a slide just to show the different programs that we offer for our customers. We work with agricultural customers, commercial customers, industrial customers, the public sector, and the statewide sector. And just some information here, just the name of the programs that we have to serve different sectors, something for customers to know. That's an option. Next. And this will be my last slide, but part of another of the pretty cool things that my team does, and this actually are all representatives that work with me in my team. When customers go ahead and move forward with energy efficiency programs, they do. Most of our customers go through our energy efficiency finance loan program. And when that happens, at times we're able to work with our marketing department to put together a little commercial and like a what do we call this? It's basically like a little commercial, an interview of the customer in which they tell us, the public, how to work with the programs, how PG&E has helped them, and it's a good way to advertise them as a business and our programs as well. Claudia will be sending out the PowerPoint, and if you're curious and interested, go ahead and scan the QR code. It will take you to our YouTube page, and there you can see all the commercials that are featuring this different all of these customers to see how we were able to help and how they were able to benefit also from our incentives, rebate programs, and our energy efficiency finance program as well. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions whatsoever?
I have one question. What incentive and restriction do you have in terms of installing solar power for both commercial and residential?
So we don't provide any incentives for solar. Solar is not something that we really work with. We are able to provide customer information on different contractors that might be able to help you do the work, but in terms of solar, PG&E involvement is very little. Our involvement is as far as once your solar has been installed and all the process has been pretty much completed, we help with the connection to the grid, right? I'm not very familiar. I don't know. I know that in the past there were some state incentives that were available. I don't know if that's still the case. But as far as PG&E involvement goes, just our interconnection process.
Any restrictions in terms of installing, in terms of who can do it, who can't?
No, it's actually a lot of our customers have solar, and I'm not gonna say it's like short or easy, but I haven't run into many customers that have having problems with restrictions or things like that. I think that as long as you're able to find a very good contractor that has experience, that has done this a while, they should be able to make the process very smooth for customers, just because they already know what how to work with PG&E. If there are any incentives provided by the state, they will also know how to go through those as well.
Any other questions?
Great. Well, thank you so much. This was really informative. I appreciate hearing about all the different programs that PG&E offers for our small businesses. So thank you. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that I am the small and medium-sized business rep that handles customers in part of all Contra Costa County and part of Alameda County, including Livermore. So if there is anyone that might need any assistance, PG&E related, feel free to send them my way.
Elizabeth, would you mind putting your contact information in the chat for us?
Yes, I will send the chat with my email and with my phone number.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem.
Great. And with that, we're wrapped up a little bit early. Does anyone else have any announcements that they'd like to share with the group this morning?
I just wanted to let everybody know that Uncle is going to be hosting a shred and e-waste fest on Saturday, the 21st, open to the public. So tell your teams and the members of the community you serve, we'd love to get as many trucks full as we can. Totally free, 9 to 1.
So Jason, can you send us that information and we'll post it in the newsletter?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Well, if